Hi everyone, today is July 7, 2019, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius. I'm at the High Line Elevated Park right now. This used to be an active rail line that turned into a public park. The city turned this into a beautiful elevated public park that's very unique and one of its kind. This is located at 34th Street between 11th and 12th Avenues. I also did a narrated walk of this park back in March of 2019. You could check that out. I'll leave a card in the upper right corner. And I also did a non-narrated walk of this park in April. But I did get some requests to do this walk in the summertime. So I'll be doing a complete walkthrough during today's walk. You might see a few differences between now and the winter time when I did the walk. Now it will be a lot more lively. There's new structures that opened up, namely the vessel, the artistic sculpture or building, depending on how you classify it, at the Hudson Yards. And there'll also be a lot more people because this park gets noticeably more popular when the weather gets warmer and more tourists come to the area. This rail line used to be the New York Central Railroad's main rail line through the area, through the west side. And it became elevated because the trains used to be running on street level, and that caused a lot of accidents and crashes with the horses and pedestrians. So that's why it got completely changed. Right now I'm looking at the Long Island Railroad yards at Pennsylvania Station. This too will be covered once the Hudson Yards gets around to developing the west side of their project. Right now the eastern side is mostly finished. You'll also see a lot of different new artworks here. Sounds like there's some music now with flags. Very, very cool. One thing cool about the High Line is the art always changes and it's constantly evolving. Gives the people a reason to come back. I do wonder if these different colored flags have to do anything with Pride Month, which ended a few days ago in June. To the right is the Hudson River with New Jersey across the water. Some helicopter pads are by the water. So there's Pennsylvania Station Yards, Long Island Railroad trains in storage because they're not really needed as frequently during the weekend. The vessels in the distance, they still haven't chosen a name for it. They're supposed to. Sounds like they're playing classical music. When I came here during the winter time, this park was very, very sparsely populated, and even in this section, which is the least popular section, there's a lot more people than probably when I saw through the first quarter of that walk. So this is called Plein Air.
He said, all right, I'll go with my chef no.
It's a group exhibition, seems like. I do wonder if this music will be detected as copyright and on YouTube, but if it gives me a problem, then I'll have to replace the audio.
ladrillo, vermellón, colorado, cerezo.
Wow, the
dorado,
flags go all the way over there.
fresa, granada,
Pretty neat,
rosado,
actually.
escarlata, púrpura, rubí, sangre, sangrienta, cometa, lima, carmín, lágrimas.
Now during the summertime and in the springtime, you'll see a lot of different vegetation that's not visible during the winter. Maybe this used to be a gas station and looks like it's being developed into something else now. So there's red flags and purple. Once in a while, I do see helicopter deals you can buy online and Groupon packages.
Fialová, indigo, modrá, zelená, žlutá, oranžová, červená, černá, bílá.
These skyscrapers are really something.
Červená, rudá, korálová,
I can't imagine how this will look like when Hudson Yards finally gets fully developed on the western side.
krvavá, vermeňová,
Here's a fake monk with their bracelets. What those fake monks will do is they'll be handing out bracelets and pamphlets to people and then expect donations in return. They'll say it's for their faith or for their religion to build a temple, but actually the Buddhist monks have actually spoken out against the fakes and the impersonators, saying they don't endorse this activity at all. The real Buddhist monks won't be out asking for donations or panhandling, so just be aware of that. Many other people, such as Serpent and news outlets, have also reported on this this common tourist trap. If they do say it's for their temple and it's not, then you are getting scammed too, so just be aware of that. And if you act like you are interested in the bracelet and then you refuse, then they may even shout profanities at you or act aggressive, and that's not something I endorse. Once in a while, I did see some signs saying that, saying these monks are not real and you should avoid them on the High Line. I don't know if they're still around, but just be aware of common tourist traps in the city like that. It's not just here either. Sometimes I've seen them around Battery Park and Rockefeller Center during the holidays, and Central Park during all times of the year, Fifth Avenue. It doesn't happen in New York either. It happens all over the world. Even places like London and Paris have the fox monks. This building is one of the last buildings on the eastern side of Hudson Yards to be constructed. You do see a lot of different fashion along the High Line. People like to show off over here and wear their brightest colors and just walk and enjoy the day. I like those two people's t-shirts. One said Unreal, the other one said Stay Hyped. It's a shame this section closed off though, just because of the scaffolding. It's a nice little area to sit down and the rail tracks, but maybe they're doing some construction there, replacing the rails or the concrete. I don't know. Right now I am approaching the newest phase of the High Line, which is called the Spur, just in front of me. I did do a walkthrough of the Spur just a few days after it opened. You can check that out on my channel. To the left of me is not the High Line. This is the Hudson Yards complex. This exits towards the Hudson Yards and the vessel and the shops at Hudson Yards shopping mall. But I won't be heading off the Spur. I'll be going to the rest of the High Line. But the Spur is very interesting. In that video, you can see they have some space for performances, and there's restrooms at the end, as well as a large open space at the end. You could watch Manhattan traffic if you so desire. Also, something I want to mention is this little Mercado Spain on the bottom of the High Line is very, very delicious. They have delicious foods and churros. I've tried a lot of it and I recommend it totally. So right now you can definitely see I don't have the leeway to walk past people as I did in the winter time when I recorded this in March. I think I even said in that video during the summertime it's even hard to pass people, and you can kind of even see it here. The crowds can be shoulder to shoulder in some parts. If you want to live in luxury in West Chelsea, there's spaces available as evidenced by the advertisement.
It does, but it's not.
These are nice flowers, nice pink. They even look like sunflowers a little bit, pink sunflowers. But it's very colorful. It's nice how the caretakers of the park, the New York City Parks Department and the Friends of the High Line, have different species of plants available and vegetation. This you definitely didn't see during the winter time. This sculpture, this red sculpture, is kind of new. If you're a photographer, the High Line is a great place to take pictures. Just don't step in the plant beds. They don't really like that. I don't know what this painting is supposed to be. It's related to the other one though. Ryan Sullivan blue painting and brown painting. I guess that's the blue painting. The other side was brown. The architecture of these buildings surrounding the High Line is just very, very unique sometimes. Like this one kind of looks like flippers a little bit. Like flipper fins. It's not just me that's
balcony.
in awe of this architecture too. People are taking pictures of it.
How long is
I just heard a comment, how long is the High Line? I didn't even cover it. Presumably they're tired from walking so long, but it's 1.45 miles long. That's 2.33 kilometers, extending from Gansevoort Street in the Meatpacking District to 34th Street in Midtown. I just saw one person who's brave enough to take off their shirt because it's so warm out. There's love and amour. These love and amour sculptures are found throughout the world. Someone else has got a gimbal on, not just me, the electronic stabilizers. These plants just can get so large, they just overgrow and come onto the walkway, but that's why the caretakers of the park are here. It makes for a very interesting experience. It's kind of like walking above the city with all the vegetation beside you. And those sirens remind you that you're still in New York City. It's not all peace and quiet up here. If you want peace and quiet, the High Line is not the place to go. There's some more quiet spots, such as the north part of Central Park, which no one seems to visit or wants to visit other than people who know about it. Also, the outer boroughs have very quiet spots, and the northern parts of Manhattan.
No, porque no puede caminar así.
And of course, there's scaffolding on the High Line. Detracts from the beauty a little bit, but that's just the way it is. New York City wants to protect people from getting hurt, so that's why the scaffolding is up. It's actually not as busy as I thought it was going to be. 2011. I do find the first phase of the High Line that starts at, I think, 23rd Street is the most crowded. You can even hear birds on this High Line.
I've been a few times.
And to think that this park, I almost tripped there to the side. The boundaries aren't really set very well. It's only a rope, but it's just a reminder to myself and as well as to you watching that there are some raised surfaces to the side that aren't really restricted very well, and you could easily trip. One day I was walking the High Line and I saw a middle-aged man on the floor with his head down with some noticeable blood, but the EMTs took him away, and I think he was going to do all right. time to organize. I think that sculpture was around when I did my walkthrough in April. Now it's 3 months after. Here's a third-party exhibit that everyone was laughing about the last time I walked the High Line. Tyranny is no joke with Donald Trump and Putin. The press is the enemy. Putin's useful idiot. Lock him up with Trump in a window with bars on it. So even people who are living beside the High Line have their own creative ideas. This is the 23rd Street exit and the busiest section of the High Line in my opinion.
No, everybody says that's good.
This is Out of Line, musical performance or a dance performance on the High Line. So not only stationary exhibits, but they have some interactive plays and programs as well. This section of the High Line I enjoy very much. It's the wide open lawn. This was closed all winter time to allow for the grass to repopulate and the lawn to heal. But now that it's open, you can enjoy it and watch the people relax in the sun. This mural has been here for a long time. It's been here back in March when I did the first walk. I live my life beside the golden lamp, I believe it says. I did that by memory, not by reading it, because I've seen it so much. They always have some interactive experiments here and some exhibits. Here's melt ice cream. I'm going to get a ice cream before I continue on. So I'll catch you soon. Let me tell you, that melt ice cream sandwich I got, the snickerdoodles. Actually, it's called the Cinemax, but it's snickerdoodle cookie with cinnamon ice cream. It was so delicious, so good. I highly recommend the Melt Bake Shop ice cream shop. When you come here, they always have a cart here. There was even one on the Spur section of the High Line when I last visited. But the main store of the Melt Bake Shop is on Orchard Street in Lower Manhattan. Yeah.
No, espérame.
I do believe this is 21st Street that we're overlooking right now. There's a Manhattan mini storage building. People rent out storage units at that building when they have no more space where they live. In places like Chelsea, this neighborhood that I'm walking through right now, it's common to have a small apartment, so there isn't too much space to store everything you need. That's why many of the people here have resorted to renting out external storage options. People are taking pictures of this sculpture to the left of me. Oh wow, this is cool. It kind of looks like a piece of the Berlin Wall or something.
It is.
Let's see if I'm correct. European decorative art spread. Looks like it's made, but it still looks very, very nice. So when I walked here back in March, the scaffolding was, I think, about up to here, and there was construction noise going on both sides. So that construction work has stopped right now. Construction usually doesn't happen on the weekends just because workers demand higher pay from the companies that are directing the work.
Are we close?
6:30, and we got married today.
Oh, it's the area where the house.
It'll be interesting to see how this all looks when it's all finished. I do wonder though if these plants on the side are maintained when the scaffolding is up, because it doesn't seem like it will be easy for the workers and the maintenance people to prune the vegetation or take care of the plants while this is going on. It's also a safety risk because what happens if the workers are working, tending to the plants, and then some construction debris hits them, you know? Also, another note too about the scaffolding, you have to be wary of where you step and where you get close to, because some of the screws and the wooden boards on the side here don't exactly align with the high line, so it's easily a trip hazard. I've also had that happen to me before. You see this cross beam here isn't really flush with the rest of the high line. So if you're busy talking to someone and you keep walking straight and then a cross beam hits you in the face, don't tell you that Action Kid didn't warn you. Like here, la la la, everything's such a bright and beautiful day, and then boom. That's not what you want to happen. It's getting a little bit breezy now. This is the very popular place where people like to sit at and overlook 10th Avenue. I won't be going down there today, but it's a great view. I believe this is 17th Street.
Right, it isn't that.
Sorry.
Here the High Line splits into two paths, the left path and the right path, but they both lead to the same place. When I came here in March, underneath this building, there wasn't as much shops as there were now. I should say as it is now. Get some official High Line merchandise. Some buttons, skateboards, temporary tattoos, and love New York. This is ⁴ Gelato. It's very, very good. I recommend it. La Sonrisa Empanadas, Berlin Currywurst, handmade ⁷ tian baos. I actually don't even know what those are, what a ⁷ tian bao is. Maybe it's a sweet bun. This is a unique area of the High Line. You can go and wet your feet. Customizable balloons for your desire.
Lie back and relax a second. Let me take a picture of you with your sunglasses on.
Wow, I like these red flowers that this tree is growing. Another advertisement for a High Line program, storytelling, on Saturday, July 27th. So a little something for the children. This is 14th Street.
Like
14th Street is one of the major streets. It's also one of the most popular entrances to the High Line because it's closest to the A, C, E, and L train station at 8th Avenue. There's two subway stations which are the most convenient to access the High Line. It's that one, the 14th Street station, and also the 34th Street Hudson Yard 7 train station. Looks like this section to the left is closed. This building in front of me is actually a hotel with a bar at the top. It's called the Standard Hotel, and the bar at the top is called Top of the Standard. You can go there and get some great views of the city, all without the price of admission. I would highly recommend purchasing something from the establishment, like a beer or some food, so you support their business. But it's one alternative than paying for admission fees at places like the Empire State Building and the One World Trade Center. Maybe they're taking this scaffolding down. I don't understand why there'll be scaffolding up with no covers. It's actually quite pleasant on the southern end of the High Line. Lots of shade here. It's not too dense with people. All right, no problem. People trying to take pictures with their phone. This is really interesting. They have artwork painted on door frames. Or doors, I should say. To the left is the Gansevoort Street exit, which means I'm almost to the end of the High Line. Just imagine if this public park extended all the way to the tip of Manhattan. That would be something. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to subscribe and like if you did. Click the notification bell to get notified when I post a new one. And stay tuned for some more adventures of New York City.